All right, so this is homework help for Wednesday, and we're solving inequalities, okay? And the solving inequalities worksheet that we've been working on yesterday, we did the odd problems. So today we're going to do the even, okay? We're going to do the even problems today. All right, so number 2, which is this problem right here on your worksheet. So we're doing the evens. Number 2 is 4x plus 1 minus 1 is greater than or equal to a negative 8. So remember, go back to your notes. It says distributive property, combine like terms on each side separately, move the variables to the same side, then isolate the variable. So here, we don't have distributive property, but we can combine like terms. So we do that second step. When you combine these terms, because they are like, that gives you 0. So I'm left with 4x is greater than or equal to a negative 8. To isolate the variable, that's the last step. The operation between 4 and x is multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide by a positive 4 on both sides to get rid of the positive 4. When you divide by 4 here, 4 divided by 4 gives you 1x, or just put the x. Bring down the inequality. Don't flip it because you just multiplied. You divide by a positive number, not by a negative. So keep the inequality the same. Negative 8 divided by a positive 4 gives you a negative 2. So when you graph this, you're going to find negative 2 on the number line and put an open circle above it. Shade in the open circle because it's equal to. So it's a closed circle now. Then you're going to shade all of the values that are greater than this negative 2 because that's a greater than or equal to. Okay? So numbers that are greater than are going to the right. Okay? Number 4. You have a negative 6 is greater than 5n plus 5 plus 4. Right? No distributive property in this problem. Remember, go back and read your notes. Distributive properties first. We don't have that. Combine like terms on each side. Nothing to combine over here, but on this side of the inequality, you can combine the 5 and the 4, which gives you 9. So we have to bring everything else down, and we have a positive 9 here. To isolate the variable n, we got to get rid of the 5 that's attached by multiplication and the plus 9. You want to get rid of all numbers that you can add or subtract to move first. This is a positive 9, so the inverse of adding 9 is to subtract 9. When you subtract 9 here, this gives you a negative 15. Bring down your inequality. This is 5n. That's 0. Now to isolate the n, to get rid of a 5 that's attached by multiplication, you're going to divide by a positive 5 on both sides. A negative divided by a positive is a negative, and this is going to be 3. The inequality stays the same because you divided by a positive and not a negative. This is, therefore, it's going to give you negative 3 is going to be greater than all of the n values. Okay, in other words, n is less than negative 3. So when you graph, the negative 3 goes here, find it, put an open circle above 3, and shade in all the values that are smaller than negative 3. These are all the values that are smaller than negative 3. So possible values could be negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 8 to the negative infinity. Okay? All right. Number 6. For number 6, you get 2p minus your 4p less than or equal to a negative 2. You do not have distributive property. Combine like terms on each side. These terms are alike, so I can combine these. That's going to give me a negative 2p less than or equal to a negative 2. To isolate the variable to get p by itself, p is attached to negative 2 by multiplication, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So we have to divide both sides by negative 2. When you divide both sides by negative 2 divided by negative 2 gives me a positive p. The inequality is going to flip because I divided by a negative number on both sides. So here, that is going to give me a positive 1. So P is greater than or equal to a positive 1. So here, find positive 1 on the number line and put an open circle there. You're going to close the open circle because 1 is a part of the solution, and shade to the right because all of these values are greater than 1. Okay? So greater than or equal to 1. So your answer here can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5, all the way to the positive infinity. Number 8. Please make sure you pause the video if you need to, okay? If you have further questions, just text me. Number 8, we have 3 minus 2 parentheses n minus 4 greater than a negative 1. First step is distributive property. You see this operation that's in front of this 2 is a negative. You have to distribute negative 2 to both numbers in the parentheses. Take the sign in front of it. Bring down this 3. Negative 2 times a positive n is negative 2n. Negative 2 times a negative 4 is a positive 8. Bring down the inequality. Bring everything else down. Combine like terms on each side separately. So we can combine 3 with the positive 8. So 8, 9, 10, 11 minus 2n. Bring down the greater than sign, minus 1. Move 11 to the other side because you got to get n by itself. So subtract 11 on both sides. When you subtract 11 on both sides, this gives you 2n is greater than a negative 12. To get n by itself, 2, to get rid of that 2, this is multiplication between 2 and n. The opposite of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 gives you 1 n, or just n. You don't have to put a 1 in front of that. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, so all your values are going to be greater than negative 6. So put negative 6 here, open circle. There's no equal to, so leave it open, and shade all the values that are greater than n. So that's negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the positive infinity. Okay. Number 10. Negative 2, parentheses b plus 1 plus 4 is greater than 10. Again, your first step here is distributive property. You're going to multiply negative 2 times both numbers in the parentheses. Negative 2 times b is negative 2b. Negative 2 times 1 is still negative 2. Then bring down the plus 4, the less than 10. Combine like terms on each side. Of course, it's on this side, it's nothing to combine. But here, you can combine negative 2 plus 4, which is going to give you a positive 2. Bring everything else down. Okay? Now you need to get b by itself. So you got to get rid of this negative 2 and positive 2. Get rid of anything you add or subtract first. So get rid of this positive 2. The opposite of adding 2 is to subtract 2 from both sides. When you subtract 2 from both sides, this is gone and you're left with negative 2b. Bring down the inequality. 10 minus 2 gives you 8. Now to get b by itself, you're going to divide both sides by this negative 2, because remember, the operation between a variable and a coefficient, or a number and a variable, is multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So divide both sides by this negative 2 to get rid of the negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is a positive 1. So we're left with 1b. Because you divided by a negative number, flip the inequality. 8 divided by a negative 2 is going to give you a negative 4. When you graph this, it's saying that b is greater than negative 4. So put negative 4 here with an open circle. There's no equal to sign. Leave the circle open. And all the values that are greater than B, shade, go this way. Okay? So possible solutions: -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the positive infinity. All the numbers that are greater, because this is greater than. All the numbers that are greater than -4. 12. Okay, and number 12. Some of you already seen number 12 because I worked that out with some of you. Number 12. 3 parentheses 6b minus 1 is greater than 18 minus 3b. First thing is distributive property. This is a positive 3. Multiply positive 3 times both numbers in the parentheses. 3 times 6 is 18, so this is 18b. 3 times -1 is a -3. Bring down the inequality. Bring everything down. Now you want to move the variables to the same side. So I'm going to move the -3 because it's smaller. I'm going to add 3 to both sides, okay? When I add 3 over here, this gives me 21, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 21b. Let me make this look like a 21b. Bring down the -3, bring down the greater than sign. This is 0, so I'm left with this 18. Isolate the variable b. So you got to get rid of 21 and -3. Get rid of all numbers you add or subtract to remove. -3, the inverse of that is to add 3, so we're going to move it first. Again, this is 0. This is 21b left on this side. Bring down the inequality. 18, again, 19, 20, 21, here. Okay? To get rid of 21 that's being multiplied to b, the opposite of multiplication is division. Divide both sides by 21. When you divide both sides by 21, 21 divided by 21 is 1. So you get 1b. Okay? 21 divided by 21 is 1. So b is greater than, again, it's greater than 1. Put your 1 here in the middle, put circle above it or open circle. Leave it open because there's no equal to. And shade all the values that are going to be greater than 1, which is to the right. So possible solutions could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to the positive infinity. This is number 12. Number 14. Number 14, we have 20 minus 2p, okay? That's greater than a -2 parentheses p plus 2 plus 4p. Distributive property comes first. There's no distributive property here, but it is here. You're going to multiply -2 times both numbers in the parentheses. So bring everything else down. -2 times p is -2p. A -2 times a +2 is a -4. Bring down the +4p. Now we're going to combine like terms on each side of the inequality separately. So here you can't combine, but over here you can combine -2p with 4p, and that gives you a +2p. Bring down the -4 and bring everything else down. Now you want to move the variables to the same side. So I'm going to move -2p over here by adding 2p to both sides. When you do that, you're going to get 20 left over on this side. Bring down the greater than sign. On this side, you're going to get 4p minus the 4 that's left. To get p by itself, get rid of this minus p first. The opposite of a minus p is to add p to, 4 is to add 4 on both sides. When I add 4 on both sides, this gives me 24 greater than 4p. To get rid of this 4 that's attached by multiplication, you do the opposite of multiplication, which is to divide it. 24 divided by 4 gives you 6. Okay? So here, another way to say this, since 6 is greater than P, that means P is less than 6. So I have 6, put an open circle. Don't shade the circle because it's not equal to. And shade in all the values that are less than P, which is going to the left. That's less than P. Okay? Please make sure you pause the video, ask questions. You text me if you need to, okay? Number 16. Negative 6 parentheses 1 plus 6x less than 6 parentheses 1 minus 5x. Distributive property comes first. So you have distributive property on both sides. Multiply negative 6 times both numbers here. Multiply positive 6 by both numbers here. So this is going to give me negative 6 times 1, which is negative 6. Negative 6 times a positive 6, which is negative 36x. Bring down the less than. Positive 6 times 1 is 6. Positive 6 times a negative 5x is a negative 30x. Okay? Next is to combine like terms on each side separately. So nothing to combine here. They're not like terms, and these are not like terms. So now move the variables to the same side. I'm going to move, let's move 30 over here because most people did that. So to move a negative 30, you're going to add 30 to both sides, okay? On this side, you get negative 6 left, and here you get a negative 6x, okay? Bring down the less than sign, bring down the 6. This is gone. In order to get x by itself, you got to move these two. So you're going to move the negative 6 first by adding 6 to both sides. When you add 6 to both sides, this is gone and we're left with negative 6x. Bring down the inequality. This is 12. Now to get x by itself, you got to get rid of this negative 6, which is attached by multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division. So you're going to divide both sides by a negative 6. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is a positive 1. So you have positive 1x. Because you divided both sides by a negative number, the inequality is going to flip. Positive 12 divided by a negative 6 is going to give me a negative 2. When you graph your inequality, the negative 2 goes here. Put a circle above negative 2 on the number line. And you are going to shade all the values that are greater than negative 2, so that's to the right. Possible solutions could be negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any number that is greater than negative 2. Okay. 18. With 18, you have negative 6 parentheses 1 plus 2x greater than, this is greater than or equal to 6 parentheses 2x minus, it's supposed to be 1. 1. All right, so first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do distributive property. You have distributive property on both sides. You have negative 6 here that you're going to distribute to both numbers in the parentheses and positive 6 here. Okay? This is going to give you a negative 6. This is going to give you a negative 12x. Bring down the inequality. This is positive 12x. This is negative 6. Bring down the plus 2x. Okay? So all I did was distributive property first. Now I'm going to combine like terms on each side separately. Can't combine these two. They're not like terms. But over here, I can combine these x's because they are like terms. 12x plus 2x gives me 14x. Bring down the negative 6. Bring down the inequality. Okay? Bring everything down. Now you're going to move the variables to the same. You're going to move the variables to the same side. I'm going to move a negative 12 is smaller. To move a minus or negative 12 is to add 12x to both sides. Okay? This is gone, and I'm left with negative 6. Bring down the inequality. When I add this together, this gives me 26x. Got minus 6 there. Now, in order to get x by itself, we have to get rid of this minus 6 first by doing the inverse of minus 6 and add 6 to both sides. Negative 6 plus 6 gives me 0. Bring down the inequality. Bring down the 26x. In order to solve for x now, you got to get rid of this 26, which is attached by multiplication. The opposite of multiplication, again, is division. So divide both sides by 26. 0 divided by 26 gives you 0. Okay? So our answer here is going to be x. 0 is greater than x, so that means it's actually less than. So this is equal. Don't forget about the equal to. So now, find 0 on the number line, put an open circle above it, shade in that open circle because it's equal to. Anytime it's equal to, shade the circle in. Values that are less than x, values that are less than 0, go to the left. So possible solutions could be 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, all the way to the negative infinity. All the way to the negative infinity. Okay? I'm going to leave the other ones for you to do on your own. That's number 20 and number 22. Number 20 looks like this. This is number 20. 5x minus, and got parentheses, x plus 2. And that's greater than negative 5, parentheses, 1 plus x plus 3. Okay? That one I want you to do on your own. Do distributive property first. Don't forget, this is a negative in front, so distribute the negative, please. Multiply both numbers by a negative. Here, distribute the negative 5, multiply both numbers by a negative 5. Combine like terms on each side before you start moving the variables, okay? See if you can do this one on your own. And the last one, which is number 22, it's just saying name one particular solution. So whatever the answer is, if it's x less than a number, then pick a number that's less that would actually make the sentence true. So you're finding a value that's in the shaded region and write one of those values down for number 22. Okay? If you need help with anything, please text me. As soon as you finish this assignment, please go ahead and submit it. I am going to give you time to submit in class, but if you can go ahead and submit it, that would be great. Okay? All right. The last thing that I want to make sure that we understand is the homework. The other part of the homework tonight. Pause so I can get that out real quickly for you. Okay, so this is it right here. We're doing Wednesday's homework. That's this one. So don't forget, order of operations to complete problem like this. Please show your work. Solving an equation, you're going to add 32 on both sides to get W by itself. Here, this is division. Multiply by the reciprocal, so you're going to multiply by negative 14 on both sides. Here, the opposite of squaring a number, it's finding the square root on both sides. Writing a number back in standard form. Okay, this is one, I'll write this down for you, number 5. Standard form is back to its original state. So let's write this number down. 7 times 10. This is scientific notation. Since the exponent here, you can come in. Since the exponent here is a negative 4, then that means that your number is going to be a small number, okay? So you rewrite the number that you see here, all right? Rewrite the number that you see. Locate the decimal and move the decimal, since it's negative 4, you're going to move the decimal so that it is smaller Okay, move the decimal so it's the number is smaller. So that means you're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. If it's positive, move it to the right. If it's negative, move it to the left. Make the number smaller. Put your zeros here as placeholders. So your answer is going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros, 4, 0, 0, 2, 7. So this is going to be your answer here. Okay. The other one, let's see here, scientific notation. Do the same thing for this one. Number 6, you have 0.00916. Move this decimal behind the first significant digit. The first digit that has value is 9. Zeros are not significant. They don't have values, okay? It's no value. So move it 1, 2, 3 times. We'll get it behind the 9. So it's 9.16 times 10. This is a number. This original number was smaller than 1. So it's going to be a negative number. We went over that earlier. And it's going to be 3. So this is going to be your answer in scientific notation. Okay. All the other ones I think you kind of can get. Don't forget this right here to write number 9. You probably hadn't seen -1. So still move this down to the bottom. So this is going to be -1 now to the +4 power. This is your answer for this. Okay. And I think that's all of the ones that the others you should know how to do. We've already done one like this one where you multiply these together, then multiply these together. And if you forget, go back and look at what we did on Monday. We did that Monday. Oh, and we did that Tuesday as well. And I believe I wrote that down for you Tuesday. Yes, I did. Okay. So go back and look at that. This is how we did the Tuesday one. So you're going to do it the same way. Multiplying these together, multiplying these together. Okay. All right, y'all. Have a good one. If you have questions, just let me know. I hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a thumbs up. Bye.